Mesdames et messieurs, nous allons accueillir maintenant notre second invité d'honneur, en le remerciant de sa présence, Monsieur le Premier ministre, Mr. Roosevelt, Skerrit, His Excellency, Prime Minister of Commonwealth of Dominica. Mr. Prime Minister, the floor is yours.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, good evening. It is a great honor for me to address such a distinguished gathering of decision makers as we consider the multiple crises facing our nation states. Today, we will assess our progress and further collaborate as a global community to respond decisively and in the best interests of our peoples. I wish to thank Mr. Brahim Fassi Firi, President and founder of the Amadeus Institute, for his leadership and gracious hospitality. Dominica is pleased to share with all of you, and more importantly, to reaffirm our support to the ideals of the MEDays to effectively address the geopolitical and economic issues affecting our countries. Allow me on this occasion to again express solidarity with the government and people of Morocco as we recover and rebuild following the terrible disaster of September 8, 2023. Excellencies, in the Caribbean, we too have fallen victim to the warming of our climate. In fact, many of our small countries sit on what we describe as the hurricane belt, where for 6 months of every year, our fate is uncertain. We can therefore identify with your most recent experience. Rest assured of my personal support and that of my country as you work towards restoring the livelihoods of your resilient citizens. I want also to take this opportunity on behalf of the people of Dominica and the Organization of Caribbean States Sub-Region to thank the government of Morocco for the exceptional assistance extended to our countries, particularly in education and agriculture. We value the strong ties which have developed between our two regions over the years and welcome every opportunity to strengthen relations, collaborate on matters of mutual interest, and increase our cooperation. Esteemed Excellencies, colleagues, we assemble at a time of unprecedented global uncertainty, still contending with the fallout of a global pandemic, which has left in its wake lasting economic and social disruption. Many of our countries were severely impacted by job losses and depleted tourism revenues. Governments the world over were forced to redirect finances to manage the COVID-19 pandemic, even in countries with some of the best health systems. These decisions resulted in reduced investment in infrastructure, agriculture, education, tourism, and many other programs, including those that have social safety nets for the most vulnerable among us. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has further disrupted economic activity and triggered inflationary shocks around the world. The war is contributing to rising commodity and energy costs, food shortages, and is severely exacerbating the supply chain issues set off by the COVID-19 pandemic. In more recent times, the escalating conflict between Israel
Sorry about that, Mr. Prime Minister.
Oh, that's right. In more recent times, the escalating conflict between Israel and Palestine and the instability that threatens the Middle East and the wider world have added to global insecurities. We in the Caribbean are particularly vulnerable to the negative effects of climate change and environmental degradation. Rising sea levels, unprecedented weather patterns, and intensifying natural disasters impede our progress and jeopardize our very existence. Notwithstanding, we have remained focused on climate change mitigation and adaptation. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Caribbean governments are also preoccupied with matters of border security, increasing unemployment, high levels of crime and gun violence, and the challenges of intra-regional air travel, all of which will have tremendous implications for our region if not adequately addressed. The reality for small island states like Dominica is that our countries face the burden of high debt, particularly resulting from the constant response to climate-related disasters and external shocks. These unfortunate circumstances have constrained our already limited fiscal space. Additionally, access to development financing and foreign direct investment remains a serious challenge. As Prime Minister of Dominica and Chairman of the Caribbean Community, I have used every opportunity to advocate for the upcoming COP28 in the United Arab Emirates to be a COP of action. COP28 will be a grave injustice to small states like Dominica if it plays out as another talk shop. All parties should ensure that decisions from the staging of COP28 delivers on the imperatives of the Paris Agreement for capacity building and technology transfer, as well as the provision of crucial and critical climate financing to our small states disproportionately affected by the climate challenge. For us, these issues constitute the polycrisis, and we understand better than most the concept of interconnected world plagued with ever-increasing challenges to economic and social development. I believe that this current global reality calls for a reset of our priorities and a willingness to source mutual solutions to common problems. As leaders of small countries, tasked with transitioning our countries to ensure that they are more resilient to natural disasters and social and economic upheaval brought on by wars and pandemics, we must consider a comprehensive multilateral and multi-stakeholder response. We must redefine multilateralism into effective cooperation and inclusion so that the poly world in which we now exist can work for the good of all our peoples. At the Caribbean community level, we're already pursuing this model of cooperation and harmonization as collective actions to achieve our sustainable development goals. We recognize the need to develop our collective capacity to supply the needs of our people, enhance food security, and respond to pressing challenges in intra-regional transportation and trade. Our Caribbean community are also committed to transforming to clean, renewable energy to build economic and environmental resilience. Improvements in energy efficiency and greater utilization of domestic renewable energy resources will boost our economic future and overall resistance to external shocks. In Dominica, our mission is to increase the use of renewable energy in the provision of more affordable electricity through the responsible exploration of our country's vast geothermal resource. From the generation of clean power, we will create new green jobs, increase productivity and foreign direct investment, and enable overall growth. We welcome the opportunity to share experiences and lessons from the perspective of a small, developing island, and in turn, to learn from your best practices. We are particularly keen on developing mutually beneficial links with our brothers and sisters on the African continent, based on our deep historic and cultural ties. Your Excellencies, once again, we are presented with the chance to confront the common challenges of our times in the spirit of solidarity and through genuine dialogue. I wish on this occasion to congratulate His Majesty King Mohammed VI for his leadership and the major diplomatic triumph that Morocco has been achieving with regards to the ongoing Sahara dispute. The opening of over 30 consulates from 2019 in the cities of Dakhla and Laayoune, as well as the growing support for the Moroccan autonomy plan, reflect the substantial bilateral and multilateral diplomatic efforts geared towards ensuring the southern provinces' economic dynamism. The opening up of this continent to the world is transparent, partnership-driven, and visionary on the part of His Majesty the King. As highlighted by the United Nations Security Council's most recent UN resolution, number 2703, the existing political deadlock may only be solved through a just, lasting, and mutually acceptable solution based on compromise, all embodied by the Moroccan Autonomy Plan. Today, I reiterate my country's firm commitment to the Autonomy Plan as the only credible and serious basis to end this long-lasting dispute. As the chorus of international support gets louder and stronger, it is my honor to join my voice to those who seek unity and the respect for territorial sovereignty. My dear friends, let us use this important platform to collaborate and share knowledge on the key development issues before us, among them geopolitics and energy security, and the pursuit of peace in a combative global environment. Excellencies, the reality of our times compel us to source new approaches, to prepare and empower citizens to face an uncertain and hopeful future. We count on the advocacy of the MEDays to improve international collaboration and partnerships, and support increased and more effective investments for all states, large and small, developing and developed, rich and poor. I look forward to the outcome of this forum, in particular, how we consolidate our efforts to forge a path to a more sustainable and equitable future for all, and fulfill the hopes and aspirations of our people. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, friends, brothers and sisters of Morocco, rest assured of my personal and my country's strong solidarity to the Kingdom of Morocco. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Thank you very much. And